All right, everybody, welcome to ARTiZM episode 45. Today we have Sgt Ducky with us. What's up, dude?
Yeah, how's it going? How's it going, everybody?
It's going pretty good. If you guys don't know Sgt Ducky, he's recently hit 2,000 subscribers. Congrats, dude.
Oh, thanks very much.
I would kind of describe your content as like grade A type commentaries, if that.
Yeah, evergreen commentaries. Yeah, it'd be the best description I could give them.
Yeah, and for people who don't know the term evergreen, it just means content that doesn't like have a it lasts forever, essentially, like
Yeah,
an evergreen.
perpetually relevant in a
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
exactly. I would ascribe it to like grades early better stuff because his content hasn't been watchable for me forever.
Yeah, it's his earlier videos are just so much better than his recent ones by like a country mile.
Yeah, I mean it's like you said, right? It's that was evergreen content like girly drinks versus manly drinks, and now he's like PewDiePie. I don't care, like that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
it all became very much about the drama. But then again, I suppose in a sense, that's really what caused him to kind of blow up. But he lost a lot of his charm
Yeah,
along with
what
that.
was what was the video that caused? Because I think I was on his shit a little bit before that. What was the video that blew him up?
Initially, I think his barbershop one was his very first video. It was something he'd made like months
Yeah,
previous,
yeah, I've
and for
seen
some
that.
reason it just got picked up on Reddit and blew up. And then I think it was the Keemstar thing, wasn't it? Leafy versus Keemstar or something like
Oh,
that. He
that's
did two
right.
parts.
Okay. No, I was on the grade train a little bit before that. I think grade there's very few people that do the grade style commentary. I don't think I've seen really anybody do it until I came across your channel.
Yeah, to be fair, I did draw a lot of inspiration from Grade. It was around the time I was like a big fanboy, so to speak, of Grade that I kind of came to the idea that I wanted to do similar things because I do tend to have a pretty opinionated personality, so it does kind of work well. I do uh, complain about an awful lot of things in real life, so it just kind of worked really pretty
Yeah,
well
but the
for
the
that.
thing is, there's tons of commentators in the community, and they all kind of have the Leafy esque approach to commentary. But the grade version, which in my opinion has always been better, it's like very rarely pushed. In my opinion, because it's harder on paper to be as punchy as grade. It's very very hard, but it's something that you do really well, and I think even now, paper, you're as good as grade was with the way you deliver the punches.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, your comedy is kind of the core of it all. Ultimately, you want to get kind of a relatable message across to people in the video, but if it's not punchy or funny or you have to kind of keep people laughing as they're watching to keep them engaged. And if you don't have that, you will lose a lot of people.
Exactly,
You're
and
just going to bore the arse off them ultimately.
yeah, and I think on paper your jokes are as good as grades, but I think my main criticism of your stuff is your vocal delivery. Grade beats you every single time. Um,
Yeah, he does. He does. He's well able to give his voice his all.
Cause
I've kind of dabbled with that sometimes when I'm recording, but it doesn't suit me. I don't know if that makes sense.
yeah, no,
I'd
I
sooner
think
come up with some sort of witty analogy than scream "fuck" down the microphone as loud as I could. You know?
yeah, I think it's practice. Cause Grade can even do a witty analogy, but he's like he just brings it in with like a what the fuck is this? And it's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
no, very much so. Yeah. But that's something I see a lot, even when I look back at my earlier videos. Now, granted, they're only about 8 months old now, but if you look at my very first compared to my most recent, there is a tonality difference in them in how I deliver my lines and stuff. So again, it's always going to be improvement. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
I agree. I agree with that. I think I was even doing some voice acting earlier today, and I was like, I surprised myself at like how into it I was. Like I was like really notes, and I was surprised.
Yeah, once you kind of get into the flow, you kind of forget yourself and you're just in that state of mind.
Exactly, and it's the best when you're like, cause I like I make cartoons, so I'm not like being myself. So like when you're voicing like a crazy character, you like get in that mind state, and you're just like, what? It's so funny.
Yeah, it's easier to make an arse out of yourself when you're not actually showing yourself in person,
Exactly.
when you have like a character to live vicariously through.
Yeah. So you started your YouTube channel back in September, you said, right?
Yeah, September last year.
What was the motivation behind starting out on YouTube?
Funny enough, Sgt Ducky, I started the channel itself. I started in July of last year, and I had full intentions of making a gameplay channel. Um, but then I kind of, the more I looked into it and the more I seen it, it was just I thought not, because it's so fucking hard to make any impact on that genre whatsoever.
Very true.
But I always want to do something YouTube related anyway. But yeah, I do have an awful habit of complaining about absolutely anything on a day-to-day basis. And just one day just kind of clicked with me. Then why don't I just give out about everything on YouTube?
Yeah.
Like, it worked quite well for you, likes of Grade A Underway and I Hate Everything, stuff like that. So I was like, fucking geez, people actually like to hear people complain. Fuck it, that's good. That suits me.
Yeah. I mean, you already kind of garnered 2,000 subscribers. That's pretty fucking good. I mean, how have you managed to like garner that growth?
A lot of no sleep. That'd be the ultimate growth factor to that. Granted, I would be fair. I owe about half my subscribers to Wild Spartans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's given me a couple of shout outs in the past. I managed to get on one of his videos in as well. So I'd say at least half my subs are just from that alone. So that helped my channel grow an awful lot. Outside that, then it's just trying to stay somewhat frequent with videos.
Yeah. Well,
So in around the kind of commentary community, it's the people who are very good tend to only upload about once, maybe a month, which is not ideal. So I try every 2 weeks the latest, but I try to get one up every week. So that really kind of keeps people coming.
yeah, it kind of, because the issue with good videos versus daily uploads, it's like I don't really know a person that daily uploads that keeps content fresh and good. Like it's really hard, like respect to anybody trying.
Yeah, see, for the more frequently you upload, your content loses an awful lot of its quality, because you have to upload a format of a video that will take no time to kind of record and write and edit, compared to like if you have a week, you can put a lot more time into it, give it a lot more polish, and just make it more visually pleasing.
Yeah, most definitely. So it's like you kind of have to find that balance of good and time efficient, which can kind of suck.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's
I would say I'm doing a full-time job as well at the moment, so kind of trying to work videos into that then as well, as a big pain in the arse, but sure, I have to grind through anyway.
Yeah, so like your job seems to be quite a bit of inspiration for your video. Like the current job, one of the ones that's like a bitch that you complain about, or is it old jobs mostly?
Mostly old jobs, if I'm honest. Yeah, the current job I have now, I do have little gripes with it, but nothing to the sheer strength that I had in past jobs. It's a lot because I was younger, I was more naive, I was willing to take a lot more shit without speaking up. So
Yeah,
a lot of it has that to do with it. But
yeah,
as far as my customer series videos, a lot of that is just drawn from the past, back when I was kind of afraid to say anything out of fear of being fired. But I think at time and age, you just kind of become more cynical in time and that, and stubborn, so you really stop caring.
yeah.
And
It's
as a
also
result,
like
it just makes it a bit easier.
generally speaking, a boss doesn't want to fire you. Like it's work for them as well, So it's like you kind of just find that balance.
Some bosses are just weirdly like into it, like they personally identify as a boss before a human being.
Some people definitely have that like a power complex, like a god complex. Own you, like.
Oh, absolutely. I had a boss in the past who used to go out drinking, go out to the pubs and the clubs and stuff while he was wearing his work uniform.
Oh god.
Like to that extent, like showing it off to the world or something. I couldn't understand that mentality behind it. But
I don't know.
yeah, it's just so proud, and it's just like, you're a mercenary for hire. You don't own this business. Like they'll drop you as quick as they drop me. Like, so where's this loyalty coming from?
Exactly. I was lucky. I loaded trucks for like 9 months. A really really great boss. Like he wasn't like a super like sweet guy. Like he wasn't like cheeky or anything. He was like just a normal dude. And like if you fucked up, he'd tell you. If you didn't, he'd leave you alone. And it was that simple.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like if you're going to slack off, then you're going to hear about it. But if you're actually getting on and doing your job, then it's going to be peaceful in that kind of sense.
Yeah.
But you do get some bosses that it doesn't matter how hard you're working, you're not working hard enough. That kind of way.
Yeah. So like when you do you ever get to a place where you are like short of things to complain about? Topics?
Not really. Usually I'm about 3 scripts ahead of myself.
Damn.
At any given time. Yeah, again, I have a very irritable personality. A lot of things kind of grate me on a daily basis, so I do make note of them. I jot them down on my phone or whatever.
Have you
and just
found that
expand on them later.
making videos about it has made like, is it like in a sense a coping mechanism? Like you get to just vent out all your frustration?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much like a therapy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just being able to vocalize them, write them down, and actually make light of them almost in a sense by cracking jokes about them and stuff like that. Yeah, it definitely helps. Like And then if anybody was if any kind of them topics came up in conversation with anyone, I could just point them to a video rather than trying to argue my point there and then.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a much more clean and cohesive fuck you to them.
Yeah, it's like if you're ever having a debate with somebody and you know what you're trying to say in your head, but you can't vocalize it. Maybe they're more punctual or better spoken
you're a
than
little
you are.
bit caught up in the moment. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, that's it. Like it's very easy to win a debate when you're very well spoken and very well educated in longer words and stuff like that. But given time where you could write something down, you could win a debate every time.
I think that's why Clown always wins the because I disagree with him, but I think he's just such a well spoken and his accent is just like built for winning and sounding smart. It's like
Oh, absolutely. It's like a psychological thing when you hear somebody that with a posh English accent
Yeah,
that
you're
sounds
just like,
well educated, you
"Fuck."
feel like you feel like they know a lot more than you do, so you have to believe what they say. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean when his main dissenters are Keemstar and Tommy, it's like, okay, yeah, like who are you gonna listen to?
Yeah, it's shooting fish in a barrel really, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree. So what's your favorite video that you've put out?
I don't know. I don't really have a favorite because as soon as I'm finished and it's uploaded, I
You just
instantly
don't
hate
think
it.
about it. Okay, you
No,
instantly
just
hate it. Got it.
yeah, it's just it's I don't know. Anybody who's any level of a creator will never truly love anything they've done
Without a
because
doubt, I fully agree with that.
yeah, you could edit indefinitely or write indefinitely and always make it better. You just need to understand when to stop
That's
and
one of
when
the
it's good
hardest
enough.
fucking
Yeah.
parts. Oh my god. I spent like 2.5 weeks on a script. First 4 days. There was very little added to it. And I was just sitting there like wrestling with this thing, like, fuck, what do I
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could like within a few days you could make it 50% better, but after that then it's only 1 or 2% or 0.5%, and it's just not worth the extra few days, especially when you got subs waiting on an upload and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're just looking at your jokes and after you've looked at them for so long, you're like, fuck, is this funny anymore? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you do get that. Like even sometimes I'd upload a video and people would comment saying, "Oh, it's great," and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like,
Did you
are
watch
you
the same
patronizing
video?
me? Like this is just not funny to me anymore. Like,
Yeah.
are you trying to give me some sort of sympathy vote?
The thing I try to do is like when I came up with this, did I laugh? And then if I did, I just tend to forget about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And that's
I have like a handful of jokes that I audibly laughed at as I wrote, but
exactly
within
that kind
about
of feeling.
10, 20 minutes, it's just not funny anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's like you kind of just come up with like the ridiculous and just hope it hits. Like that's really I can never tell. I'm working on something right now that I sent to two friends to like as a draft to see if they found it funny, and
Mm.
I was just like genuinely unsure when they're like, "Oh yeah, it was funny," and I just want to be like, "But did you laugh though?" Like that's really what matters, right? It's like concepts can be funny on paper and like things can be like intellectually funny, but it's like, did you laugh though? That's my main thing.
Yeah, it really depends on the person watching it. Now, like I'm somebody who enjoys a lot of comedy and so what have you, but it's very hard to make me laugh. I would find something absolutely hilarious, but I wouldn't vocally laugh at it. If that makes sense.
No, I totally
I
agree
just
with
know
that.
it's hilarious, the concept of it, but I wouldn't actually break my arse there and then. Like, so I'd be like the worst critic if somebody was showing me some comedy because I'm like, yeah, it's quite funny,
Yeah.
showing no expression.
To be fair, I do the same thing, and like, but it's fucked up because when I send people my thing, like that's what it like. If I'm ever showing somebody my video standing next to them, and they're like, "Oh, that was really good," I'm like, "I didn't hear you fucking laugh."
Yeah, well, that's one thing I used to back before YouTube and all that. I used to make short films and stuff with my friends, and there was always one thing I learned is if you're showing what you've made, be it a short film or a video for YouTube or what have you, to somebody else, like a third party, as they're watching it with you, you will be more critical there,
Oh, without a
um,
doubt, yeah.
yeah, than what you would have been while you're editing it or anything else. Like you'll start seeing stuff that you didn't see before
Yeah, and
because you're kind of seeing it through their eyes.
you kind of cringe at yourself. You're like, "Oh, this isn't funny. Oh, what am I doing?" It's like a little crisis in your head while they're just like watching it, like, "Oh, that's pretty good." It's like the most like lackluster thing ever.
Yeah, but I say a lot of making good content is just kind of stuff you can be proud of to an extent.
Oh
Like
yeah,
if I was to upload a video and only one person laughed at a specific joke and
it's
nobody else
worth it.
did, absolutely worth it. Yeah, just leave it in.
Yeah,
I'm not losing anything by leaving it in. It doesn't matter. So
I just do you know who David Firth is?
no.
Okay, he made Salad Fingers. He just uploaded
Oh yeah, very good. Yeah, I know Seven
he
Fingers.
just uploaded a new video today. It's 12 minutes long. It's like this really, really refined short film. You can see like a lot of aspects of his style that have been like refined, especially the comedy. And it's like hilarious and it's really, really intriguing. I didn't laugh at it, but like I loved it. You know, it's like it was great.
Yeah.
It's fucking fantastic. Even Salad Fingers. I hardly ever audibly laugh, but I'm like incredibly intrigued by what's going on.
Yeah, it very much draws you in. Like it's able to grab you and just kind of suck you into that like anxiety-filled world where you're not really sure what's going on. But it's just it kind of tickles your curiosity just enough that you can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's like it brings you into like an atmosphere, and it's just like, whoa, what?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, very good.
With your videos, where do you kind of plan to take them? Do you still just like, do you ever consider branching out, doing other things, or like you've kind of found your style and you're just hitting that hard?
I don't really know. Like I have kind of grown in a sense compared to my earlier videos. Like I've kind of somewhat changed up my style a little bit, just subtle changes over time as you do. But as far as like branching out doing different things, this is kind of working for me right now. I'm not kind of big enough to justify changing things up just yet, and I'm still kind of early at the game, so it's not
Most
something I
definitely.
considered as of yet. But it's not something I'd rule out either. Like stuff like live streams and stuff like that, I was kind of considering doing more of that just for more audience interaction because they don't hear from me from one end of the week to the next, really. So
Yeah, exactly. And I think with branching out, I don't even mean like dropping everything you're doing now and just changing everything. It's more like when I consider it, it's like, okay, this thing, like for like this one video out of 10, just like try this different thing, see how it goes over. If it goes over poorly, fuck it. You know, the normal shit stays. But just experimenting from time to time.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, so you got to keep things fresh.
Yeah.
That's the main thing when you're making videos. What I'm about 23 odd videos deep now, and things can get tedious. It's one of the main reasons I changed up my character and stuff like that. It's just because I was kind of sick of staring at the exact same editing screen for 3 days on end, every single video. So I just kind of change things up and keep things fresh for me, not just people watching. So yeah, I wouldn't rule anything like that out. It's always good to kind of keep things moving, keep things changing,
Do you
and keeps
watch
the brain on edge.
do you watch a lot of commentaries or no?
I do and I don't. It kind of it's like a mood thing. Some days I'm just really into what's going on YouTube, the drama and everything else, and then other days I really just don't give a shit about it. You know,
Yeah. I
it
more
really
mean,
depends on what's going on.
it's even like aside from YouTube drama, do you watch commentaries for comedic entertainment?
It depends. I watch like the likes of like iDubbbz and stuff like that for kind of comedy, but
Yeah, but
um,
otherwise it's like I would say it's not very abundant comically, you know.
no, it's a lot of just stating facts is what commentary is.
That's
But then again,
exactly what I'd
it
say.
doesn't kind of lend itself a whole pile to comedy because these are scripts that are made or written within a day, recorded and edited within a day. It's very hard to sit back and start thinking of jokes to add into that on the fly.
Yeah, but I'd also
So
say that these people they're trying to do comedy, and I would think that they would brand themselves and hit.
yeah, it's kind of like there's certain creators like there's levels of comedy that I wouldn't like. I would say take I'm Alex. I do love his channel and all his content, but like self-deprecation does grate me sometimes.
Yeah,
It's like
gets old.
it's like a clown horn that keeps getting hit every 10 seconds. Like it eventually just
It's
gets
beating a
annoying.
dead horse. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. But like, no, I won't take that away from him. He's kind of become a bit of a meme now with him as well. So I suppose that's
yeah.
what happens. But
But it's like even owning the meme, it's like to me whenever like to me it's like okay, that was lazy. That was like you know you just zoomed in on your face because you didn't have a joke to fill that 10 seconds.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah,
So how do
I
you?
won't take it away. To be fair, I'm Alex is probably one of the better commentators that's out there nowadays. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't take anything away from him in a sense like that. But there is a lot of tropes you can see within commentary communities again, like the jump cuts or the quick zooms and stuff like that, to kind of pretend there's a joke there rather than actually making a joke.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I you know I don't it's like it's that same thing. You know, if he spent more time on his content, it'd probably be better, and I'd probably you know give it more of a shot. I think it's like he's pumping out content, and I respect that to an extent because there are people who like want content daily, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a product of its environment, really, more than anything. So
Exactly. It's like we can hate vlogs, but like all the fucking 10-year-olds are tuning into them daily, so it's like we can't really do anything about it.
again, I don't get that. Like I've seen like massive YouTubers, you know, kind of like people who play Minecraft and stuff, and they know their audience is like 5 to 15 years old, and that hurts me. I don't know how anybody could be happy to have an audience of that age. I just want a mature audience that can understand the conversation
I
properly.
want,
Like, you know,
yeah. What I want is like to wow people. Like I genuinely want people to come like, whoa, that was like the craziest shit I've ever seen, right? Like I want that shit to happen. But like, yeah, no, like I just think it's a personality type. It's like there's some people who are cool with like, oh, I'll enjoy this video today, but it's like I want people to like remember my video, possibly come back to my video. You know, just really kind of fuck with my in an evergreen sense, like you're saying.
yeah, leave something that resonates with the audience that will have them coming back or telling their friends and stuff like that
Like I'm not gonna lie,
to
I've
kind of
seen
check you out and
tons of
that. Yeah,
Casey Neistat's vlogs. I couldn't describe or name one that was like sticking out in my head right now.
yeah, they're all very samey. But I think that there's only so much you can do with walking around the place with a camera, like
Yeah,
when there's no real structure at play and stuff.
you'd be surprised. I think he's done quite a bit. Like if I'm really thinking about it, he's like flown in a helicopter. He's like done mad shit. Like that's crazy. But I
Yeah, so he became really big at one stage where I hadn't watched him at all before, and then it was like became really big at one stage. So I was like, oh, maybe I should check him out. It sounds like good content or whatever. And just as I was going to it, this whole thing about like him supporting Hillary Clinton came out, and I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
yeah,
So
that
I
was
hate politics. I can't. Politics bores the living fucking arse off me. And
I
then it was just like he's telling his subs who to decide with in an election. I'm just like, oh, come on, lad.
I agree completely. I couldn't be fucking like I can't be asked to just keep up with the shit. Like I know people who continuously keep up. Like my friend has like whatever Trump says come to his phone, and it's like, how many times do you need Trump to come to your phone to like just come to the conclusion like, okay, in my opinion he's not a smart guy, like or like just how many times do you want to be angry about fuck Trump, like it gets old.
It's the same shit every few years where it's just like let's be angry at everything for the election, and then once it happens nobody says anything, everybody goes quiet for another few years until the next election, and
It's
then
yeah,
it all kicks off again and nobody cares then again after that. So
yeah. It's
it's really
like
like you can replace the man in power all you want, but ultimately nothing's really going to change.
yeah, I agree. It's like it's just like a mindset thing. People are like bored and don't have enough going on.
Yeah, I love that. Like we now have the internet at our fingertips, like the greatest invention, arguably the greatest invention ever made by man, where any piece of information you could ever want that was written down by man is you could access instantly. And then there's just people on Twitter giving out about fucking
Yeah,
elections and this,
it's
that, and the other. It's like fuck's sake.
it's funny. Like the more access we get, people are so bored. Like when I get bored, genuinely, I'm like, oh fuck, what am I doing with my life? Like when I'm bored, I'm like, okay, that's a sign to like start doing some other shit. Like work on a video or like start writing. Like don't be bored. Like you have so much at your fingertips. Like you're blessed, especially if you have like you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, especially nowadays. But the problem is when you get bored, but you're lazy. I get that on occasion now where I'm sitting there and I'm looking at a blank screen when I need to write a video or something. But I'm bored, but I'm also really lazy, and I'm just looking at it. It's like I just don't want to do this tonight. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You just start procrastinating like an awful fucker. Next thing, 2 or 3 days have gone by, and you're still looking at that blank screen, going, ah. I wouldn't mind once I actually start writing. I'm away with it. I'm grand. I'm not a bother. I'm in the zone. But it's just getting to start to write it is the trouble.
I just went through like a week of writer's block, and it was like the worst thing ever because it was like me staring at that script that was basically already done, but I just like didn't let it be done. Uh,
Mm.
and it was like I wasn't even lazy. Like I desperately just wanted to move on from this thing, and I was just like like I wasn't finishing much, but I was like staring at the screen, and I would force myself to fucking stare at the screen for as long as I fucking could. And then yeah, like you said, once I kind of finished it and found a way to twist it, I moved on, and suddenly like I was just fucking so many ideas came to mind, and I was like on a fucking roll, and it was so easy.
No, absolutely, yeah. So a lot of that thing as well with people often say like with writer's block and stuff like that when you're staring at a blank screen, it's the same old trope. But the best thing to do is just get up and get away from it for even 20 minutes is enough just to kind of clear your head.
Yeah.
Because I even find just staring at a computer for 20 minutes just makes me worse. If I walk away from it or go walk the dogs or whatever, like by the time I come back, I feel a little bit more refreshed or able to attack it.
I agree. I like I like look out the window. I like won't look directly at the blank screen. It's kind of depressing. I'll like look out the window and try and get like absorbed in something else, like the trees or some shit, and just
Yeah.
try. Yeah, exactly like you said. Just try and get absorbed in whatever else. So with like your growth now, you just had a collaboration with Pinely. You had the right opinion on your channel. Are you just like trying to work possible and just kind of feature the people you think are cool?
To be honest, no. A lot of the time, I'm not the one reaching out for collabs. There's a lot of time it's people asking me, and I'm just like, yeah, cool, sounds fun.
Mm.
See, because the problem with my videos, they just take up so much of my time with my job. If I went out looking for collaborations every week, then I would have absolutely no time to get any of them done. I'll be just sending clips off to people late and stuff like that. So like I do have a lot of people ask me for collabs. Pinely asked me to collab. Jesus, it was a good while back because I remember when he finally uploaded the video, I cringed at my bit in it because that bit was so old. It was just like, oh my god, that's from months ago.
Yeah, I talked to him. He
Um,
said it was like he was working on it for like 2 months, or for 2 months it's been like 90% done.
yeah, geez, even longer because he asked me about taking the music out of the clip that I had, and when he asked me, I hadn't a clue what the fuck he was on about. I'd completely forgotten about it. Like I had him sent the clip and everything, but I was just like, what? Well, fuck it, yeah, Jesus, I didn't even remember that. But yeah, no, a lot of the time it's people getting onto me. Again, if I'm on somebody's channel, I'll only happily feature them on mine as well as a kind of a, just we're even now kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but on occasion I will reach out to kind of smaller YouTubers and stuff like that, and see if I can get them on my channel. Just because I've been at the 1 in 200 mark, and it's pretty tough down that far. Even at 2,000, you're still pretty small, but
At
you have a
least
better advantage.
I don't know. Like I have on my like sketch channel, I got like 28 subscribers, and
Mm.
all I would like 1,000 seems like fucking gold to me from here. It's
Oh,
like
absolutely, yeah. I
it's gonna be like, okay, wait, where's the rest? But I think one thing I've just always wanted to hit 100, and that's really my main thing. It's like I know like when you get there, it's like, okay, this is special for a day, and then you kind of move on.
it's special for maybe about 5 minutes, and then you start looking at the next milestone, and you're like, I want that one now. Or you'll see kind of channels in around your size, and you're like, no, I have to beat them in subs now next week. Kind of making your own mental goals to
Exactly.
kind of keep driving you forward, keep you motivated to make it stuff like.
It's definitely a
Um,
good thing, but it's also like I feel like once I hit 100, I'll have the first milestone I ever set. I feel like once I hit 100, I'll be like, okay, I hit the first one at least. Like maybe I'm not at the second one, but I hit the first one. You know?
yeah, definitely. So that's the problem when you're doing kind of YouTube and stuff like that is most of the motivation you get comes from when you finished just uploading the video.
Yeah.
That's when you get all the nice comments and the
The
attention from all
adrenaline.
the subs and all
Yeah.
that, and they're like, you're the best, and you start getting a big head about it and all the rest. That's when you get most motivated to make videos. But then a week after that, where the hype of that's kind of knocked, been faded down, and then you're trying to write stuff, and you need the kind of stuff to kind of keep you driving. So I like looking at other people's sub miles or sub sizes and stuff like that, and go, I'm going to beat that. I just want to beat that, like for my own mental thing, not out of any kind of malicious intent, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to
Of
kind of
course. Of
keep myself
course.
pushing. Just kind of a little mind game for myself.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Definitely. I think also. Ah, fuck. I like literally had something to say, and then I just looked behind me, and my dog is like sitting at the door, just like wanting to come in super badly. Um,
Yeah, sure. You can go leave him out there and just cut this bit if you want.
no. She'll literally just bother me. Like she'll find something else to do. My mom is downstairs. She's just bored. Um,
Uh,
but I was gonna say, fuck, Jesus, damn, can't believe it. Uh, whatever. Moving on. Why did you decide to name yourself Sergeant Ducky?
yeah, that was actually my Q&A video. It was like back in the Xbox 360, we used to always playing Call of Duty World at War,
Yep.
and I just found it really funny the idea of a duck just being a sergeant, and
Yeah.
like nobody drawing attention to it. It's just a duck, and there's like a platoon of men standing in front of him, and he's just going, "Wah,"
Have
and
you
they're all like saluting him and stuff like that. It's just
have
the
you ever
idea of
seen
that.
the South Park where the duck is president?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, similar to that. All right.
And he's
But
just like,
yeah, I don't know. I was like 14, 15 at the time or whatever. I just found that absolutely hilarious. And as I was saying, I actually meant to set up Sergeant Ducky as a gameplay channel. So that was the kind of the mentality going into that before I actually
okay,
decided
got
to
it.
just do rant instead.
I mean, the great
But
thing
it
about
wasn't a bad name, so it worked.
the great thing about like the South Park duck is like they like hand him papers to sign, and he just like fucking quacks at them.
Yeah. Although I don't think I could fill like a 5 minute video of just me quacking into the mic.
Yeah. Have you ever who do you like draw inspiration from? Like Grade, obviously we can see that. But who else?
Um, it's hard to really nail down, but with it, if I had to blend two YouTubers together that I drew heavy inspiration from, Grade obviously being the kind of primary content, the kind of everyday complaints. And as far as the style of the videos, definitely would be zero punctuation. I very much kind of ripped off his style in the very beginning. If you've seen
Okay.
that, it's almost a carbon copy, and then I've kind of moved away from that as I've kind of become more self-aware of it.
I've never
But
heard of
yeah,
him.
definitely. No, he does kind of game reviews and stuff. Definitely
Okay,
worth checking out. He's quite a
got it.
funny chap. But
Yeah.
once you see him, you'll see the similarities there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of a blend of those two. I would say
Yeah, because you
would
also
be the
do
best.
the something that I don't see a lot of commentators do. You also do like the in between, like just in the pictures, there'll be like jokes,
Yeah,
like
I
the
like that.
top
The kind of
buzz.
the subtle. I'll do subtle jokes in my odd videos, just something to put in the background. So just kind of make a video a bit more engaging. You can pause it and read what I had up on the
Exactly,
screen
exactly.
for like a frame, and just knock a laugh out of it. Again, it's something that's very easy to do and something that pays off for like maybe 2% of the people watching. But again, it's just kind of little hidden Easter eggs, for the lack of a better word for it.
Yeah, and it's not even like for other people. It's like you're making them so you'll be happy with them. You know, if a
Oh,
video's
absolutely. Yeah. Well, if ultimately if you're not happy in your own content, like I can hate the videos I've made instantly, but that's not to say I'm not proud of them, the time and effort I put into
exactly,
them, and
yeah,
I'd be quite happy with how they turned out compared to how I envisioned them.
I
But
agree.
yeah, I don't think I've done a video I've ultimately hated. I've done a couple I've cringe at now, but I wouldn't diminish them in any kind of way. There's in my head, they're still at the time I made them still very good.
I think I think my first sketch was pretty. It's funny to watch because it's like so bad, and me and my friend are laughing the whole time. But it's like, it's 11 minutes long, and it's like this interview sketch, and it's horrible. It's like genuinely just god awful. Like it was all improv. The jokes sucked, but I just think even though like that was a genuinely bad sketch, it was like my first one, So I don't trip too much about not liking that video. Um,
Yeah, it's like the first step in a direction you want to go, so you'll always be happy of that first step you took.
and I think when I'm watching one of my videos back, I can be like, this is and I can cringe a little. But like in my mind, when I'm not necessarily watching the footage, I'm like, no, that was good, and it like executed pretty well. Because I think when
Yeah,
you
it's good
get
to
to
look back
watch
on
it,
your old videos and just see the learning curve that you've had over time. Like because when you're making a video now, it's very easy to look back and say, oh, what the fuck did I do that for? Or that's just not working. That didn't flow right. But when you made that video, you hadn't the experience that you have now. So it's okay to you can accept the flaws that are in those videos because you just didn't have the experience to back that up at the time, where now you do. So you can't
yeah,
really hate on them because you didn't know any better at the time.
exactly. And I think also you get into this mind state. It's kind of hard to let go of like critiquing yourself, but when you do, you can actually have a laugh at like your video as you're watching it back, which it's like a
Oh,
rare
absolutely. Yeah.
occurrence. But you just need to like stop thinking about it so much and try to appreciate it for what it is, which admittedly it's very hard. I think like not during the final product, because when I have the final product in front of me I'll be analytical, but like when I'm almost done and I'm making like final edits and I'm like playing through it, that's when I'll like actually really laugh at my video.
Yeah, once it's all tied together and you could see it for what it is, finished, one piece rather than segments that you've been used to sticking together.
As far as
Yeah.
topics go, like it, I know you say you're not at a shortage for them, but do you ever feel like, okay, like what's a really creative topic, or is it more just like what are the topics that are true to me?
It's always been what something has annoyed me. There's never been one specific thing. Like there's always videos that do particularly well, and I will kind of lean towards doing them on occasion, being the customers ones. But again, they're very near and dear to my heart, so I'll very happily make them. And people will come back watching them. But then there's other kind of topics. There's one video I did which was Dream Big, which was
Oh
complete complete stark difference to what everything else I kind of made, but in a
yeah,
similar style. But again, it's just something I was feeling at the time. I was getting very annoyed at people just kind of sitting back and accepting what life throws at them and not trying to make things better for themselves, etc. But it'll always be whatever's kind of going on in my mind at the time. Like my
Yeah.
recent one is about couples. It was just like talking
I
to
saw that one too.
people
Yeah.
about cringy couples, and then just kind of going, yeah, I really do fucking hate cringy couples. I should do a fucking video on this. Like,
Yeah, and I think what you did with the fucking motivational video, that's an example of like it branching out and experimenting. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it kind of like did a bit of a face plant when you compare it to the rest of my videos, view wise and engagement wise and all that. But again, it was something different. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be ashamed of it, but it doesn't fit with the rest of my videos, so to speak. But so I could understand why it didn't get half the attention. But yeah, it'll always be, so experimenting, as you say, just trying stuff, new stuff.
And even if you're like feeling that was like a good try, like, and if you are feeling that way again, I think there's a way. It would be a lot harder, but it's like there'd be a way to like tie jokes into it as well, so you'd have something funny and motivational. I've like toyed with that idea in my own head because I make comedy sketches, right? But I think about like whenever I see like a lot of good content, especially with music, I'm like, oh, like I want to make like a video with this kind of like jam vibe, like something that people like come away from and are like, there's like a way to do it. I just haven't really ironed it out. It's like that because comedy is like a weird thing to like put different emotions into. Like there's an emotion in it, but it's like it's weird. It's hard to like inject.
Yeah,
it
I think
with a
the
certain
best. Yeah, the best way to get comedy to work is to add emotion. Some of the funniest things I've ever seen have contained like a lot of emotion in them, and it was a kind of comedy punchline that just elevated it then to make the funny bit of it even more hilarious, to be kind of a stark contrast to everything else.
Yeah.
There was God, I'm reminded of it. There was like this thing. It was like a British series called The Fast Show, and they had this like running gag every week where it was just this old posh man sitting in a chair drinking his sherry, and he's kind of mumbling, kind of telling a story, and it would be like this absurd story where he was like, I put my hand up a skirt, but I was very drunk, and that was the punchline every time. But I was very drunk was the punchline. But then, like the final episode, he did this like really kind of, it went kind of dark as he was talking about how he fell in love, and then he had to go off the war, and something happened to her where she was dying, and then he was like, I was holding her in my arms, but I was very drunk. And it was just ended on such a sad note, but it was just fucking hilarious, just the way it was delivered. Just been so funny up until this time, and then just hit with such darkness. Then it just made it so much better.
Yeah, I think like dark comedy is definitely like one of those tropes. I was more thinking like I think like the motivational, like the real, because like I'll come away from a song or a video and I'll be like, oh fuck, like I'm motivated now, like I'm hyped. Like Train Spotting, if you've ever seen, it's close enough to you. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I'll keep meaning to because I heard it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fucking great. But I won't spoil anything, but it's like there's a moment that's very like kind of motivational and hype, but it also mixes humor because like he's just essentially he's done like a very shitty thing, but he's also like at the same time like, yeah, now I'm hyped, like I'm like killing it, and it's explain it more, but you haven't seen it. It's great, and I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I'd watch it and I'd understand. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but you'll always need something to back up comedy. Comedy on its own won't necessarily work if you're just kind of. It's the reason why you'd see comedians would tell you a story before delivering you the punchline.
Comedy is in essence contrast, right? It's you are expecting one thing and they give you another, right?
Yeah, it's the twist to make it funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, at its core, like there is no comedy without something else, right? It's just a statement, I guess. Like it wouldn't.
It is. You can't have comedy without tragedy, I suppose. It's kind of a more popular saying. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Ali G, but it's fucking fantastic. You know of him?
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. So like that's just the greatest because it's like very very fucking smart, or people who think they're smart, and Ali G playing the dumbest person alive, but outsmarting them somehow. Like, and it's just
fantastic. We actually have that in Ireland there as well. There's just two lads called the Rubber Bandits, and they play these kind of absolutely kind of, I don't know what the American equivalent would be, like kind of hillbilly-esque, but like the Irish equivalent of it. And they just play these two incredibly stupid kind of people. But the way they speak, the accent they use is very stupid, but the way they speak is very intelligent. So the contrast is just so funny. And then to watch them go on radio shows and TVs and stuff and debate very ably debate and win debates, but just, it's like people getting annoyed that these kind of lesser people are out debating them.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious.
That's definitely a great twist on it. I think what I love about Ali G is like Ali G was telling a dude who's like very much into science, and he was like, I can't believe that you would leave a poop in the toilet and not flush. Like, you're disgraceful. And the guy's just sitting there like
Yeah.
dumbfounded, like, I didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know why you would bring that up on television. And then Ali G's just like, yeah, but shame on you. And he keeps talking about it. He's like, I'm not gonna bring it up again, but shame.
It's rather than rising to his level of intelligence, he drags him down, so to speak. Yeah.
It's so great. It's hilarious. But
yeah, Ali G is very good.
Yeah. So, as far as YouTubers that you really like right now, who would you say are some of the best?
YouTubers are really, it really depends. I watch so many different genres of things. Like, and I'd just, I'd be unashamed about some of them. Like, gameplay people, I actually watch a lot of gameplays and stuff. So, CNNers, a bit of an OG gameplay there, but I fucking love him. I think he's hilarious.
I don't watch him anymore, but when I was fucking 14, his Black Ops 1 commentaries where he get like super philosophical, man, that was a wrap for me. Those were
just his fucking like prop ones.
I love them.
A lot of the comedy I like is just silly.
I was definitely into those. The Morgan Freeman prop hunts, or the hidden, that one's great.
The gassy Mexican, yeah, he's very good at impressions, yeah.
The hidden prop hunt, I definitely went through a phase where I watched a shit ton of that.
Yeah, I think anybody now that watches CNNers must have binged on them at some stage. Again, but that's because these videos were very short form then as well, so they were only like 3 or 4 minutes long, so they were quality 3 and 4 minutes long rather than less or 10 minutes.
For the 3 and 4 minutes, you get a ton of laughs too. It's like not like one.
Yeah, it's the best jokes are kept in. Like he's practiced the editing technique of killing your baby, so to speak, getting rid of something that just doesn't work right.
Yeah.
To make the overall video better. Definitely practice that. Other channels I like, Philly D. I suppose then again everybody kind of watches him. I do watch Scarce to a degree. Actually, I'm not a big fan of Scarce, but there's no better alternative like you do of Keemstar, but nobody really wants to watch him, let's be fair.
Yeah.
What else? iDubbbz. Fuck it, I'm trying to think now what just pops up new. PewDiePie's latest stuff is unbelievable. I went through a stint where he was like when he's got amnesia and he started getting big and he started doing Happy Wheels and all that, I kind of tuned out and it just went, it's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
But as soon as he started doing commentaries, I was like, yeah, this is so much better. Why weren't you doing this for years? Like,
Well, I mean, that's not where the viewers were back then. Like Happy Wheels and that.
I suppose not, but
views.
I just like the journey he's gone through to get where he is. It's just he's gotten to the point where he just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
And his content is so much funnier for it. Like he just doesn't care. He's just like, I don't need this, so fuck the whole lot of you. I'm just going to do what I want, and it just makes everything so much better.
Yeah, I mean that's just exactly what it is. I think also it's like, but he cares enough to still daily upload. So it's like obviously I definitely don't watch him because it's like PewDiePie will make a 10-minute video, and for it I'll get like maybe 1 or 2 laughs generally. So to me, like that kind of stuff, I stray away from.
Yeah, it's what drew me back in was his was it 1 million like videos and 1 million dislikes and stuff. Again, just so stupidly over the top. I just couldn't help but laugh at every second of it. Just running down the middle of London or Brighton or whatever he lives there, just topless, screaming at the top of his lungs, 1 million. It's just fucking. You think that's the most subscribed man on YouTube, just running down the road screaming at the top of his lungs.
I like the one he did where I forget who he was parodying, but he was like acting like a news guy, and he was on the street like, "Who's your favorite YouTuber?" He was wearing a really shitty disguise, and like everybody.
Yeah, they're just a general news reporter parody. It's probably just a stab at like the Wall Street Journal and the likes of them.
I think it might have been Philly D. I think it was after like the big Philly D Patreon controversy thing. I think.
Yeah.
I think
more
like,
likely.
I'm starting a news network or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just a lot of that kind of stuff now bores the arse. Patreon is something I have like love and hate feelings for altogether on YouTube. In general, like it's just too many small channels. I see there's often like I'd come across like a pretty small channel, and I'd check out their stuff, and it's like, oh, this person's actually pretty good, and maybe their third video they uploaded then it's like support my Patreon. It's just like, oh, you're doing this for all the wrong reasons. Like if money is going to be one of the things you mentioned in your early videos, then like it's not the direction you need to be going. Like it's not going to work for you.
I agree, especially on YouTube. Like you're never gonna make a ton of money. Like if you're a small YouTuber using Patreon. And I think if you are like if you really are like fiending for Patreon money that are getting big are low because, as you said, you're probably not
Yeah,
doing it
that's
for the right reason.
yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like if you're at a certain kind of subscriber length or subscriber growth, or like maybe 5 to 10K subscribers where you could actually possibly make YouTube your full-time job, then I could completely justify it, having, you know, your audience can fund you and kind of keep you in business, so to speak. But when you've only 20, 30 subscribers and, you know, 50 views on your channel and you're
Even
looking for a Patreon,
1,000 subscribers, and you're opening a Patreon.
yeah,
and
well,
you've
it's going to be different for everybody, but something acceptable, something reasonable.
yeah.
Because yeah, you're just going to come across as just greedy otherwise,
I
and
think
it's
if you
just
open a
it's not.
Patreon and you've got like 2 patrons and you're getting $6 a month, it might just be time to reevaluate and be like, hey, maybe open one 7 months down the line when I've got more subs.
I see that a lot with networks as well. You know, kind of really small YouTubers will join networks so they can get, because like once you turn on monetization on your videos, you have a limit you have to reach before you will get any ad money, so to speak. So I think it's like about $100 or something like that. You have to hit that limit before they actually pay you out.
Yeah.
But if you get a network, you'll get your money immediately.
But they take a cut.
So yeah, they take like 50% or whatever it is, depending on the network. But the problem is, it's like if you're only making like $5 a week,
You might as well
is
wait.
it worth? Yeah, is it worth getting paid, you know, $250 at the end of the week, or just waiting it out for a few months and getting paid all your money? Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
it's like what could you really do with that $250 that would make any noticeable impact on your life?
Right? Yeah. It just, I think a lot of people are short-sighted. They want to reap the benefits that they haven't really earned yet. So
Yeah, too many people come to YouTube thinking they're going to be a millionaire within a couple of weeks, like so. And it's just not the right mentality to have. You have to kind of enjoy what you're doing, and think about money last. Like doing YouTube full time would be an amazing thing. Don't get me wrong. I'd fucking love the opportunity to do that, but I don't make videos with the mindset that it's going to make me millions. I make them because I love the fans' reaction and the audience engagement, and actually doing something with your free time that you would have otherwise pissed away playing video games or watching movies and have nothing to show for it at the end of it.
It's
You know,
like a
so
very fulfilling endeavor at the end of the day.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, it kind of keeps depression and anxiety and all that kind of stuff at bay because you're actually being productive with your free time. So it's something to focus on.
And I mean, yeah, it's something to focus on. It's like if you are feeling sad and depressed, you can be like, okay, let's create something and like get my mind wrapped up in that and get excited about that. Like, it's one of like the greatest.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you're looking at just what have I done with myself for the last 6 months, like, you know, maybe you feel like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. You can look back and go, well, look, I've made such and such videos. They've impacted the lives of at least 2,000 or 3,000 people. You know, that's better than just sitting around scratching my balls all day long. So, you know.
Exactly. Well, all right. I think we're gonna cut the podcast here, but everybody check out Sgt Ducky in the description. Definitely check out his stuff if you like grade or anything like related to grade. Yeah. On, dude.
No problem at all. Cheers.
All right. Peace.
All right, take care.